Welcome back to OPTCG Central, your hub for all things One Piece card game related. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. It really helps us bring you more One Piece TCG matches and more.
Reference.
But they are definitely set up to start the game very, very soon. The green-purple kept his hand, so that's also very indicating. And we do see the Dodger
There's a
Luffy
second
as
fist bump. And now we are off, and they are using, as we saw on the bracket, they are using that LA Dodgers Luffy card. And we just see Nami putting out one Don, not doing anything, passing over to Frederik there. We got Wim on the Army, Frederik on the Luffy, and straight away we get the merry-go stage, and then we play the Nami search.
Yes, some options. So checking if he wants the event or a 2K. Decides to go for a 2K counter. Putting 2 Baguas and the Asura to the bottom of his deck. And will we see 8K swing, 10K swing into the pudding? So far, I'm correct.
You are correct so far, my friend. We have an 8K swing into leader. Life gets taken. And that is it. Nami, you said might not do much. Well, they're not doing much at all. Now we see Luffy, who is going to... Looks like a little cheeky 5K swing into leader here, forcing Wim to make a decision. Obviously, the only decision is whether they counter or whether they let it through. No blockers or anything like that. Does look like they're looking to counter it, just trying to decide what they're going to use to do so.
We do have the Zorojuro using the leader ability, so 7K leader, so there is no 6K swing possible for the Nami, of course, so best way to do it. And we do see, whoa, this bling, I'm getting a little bit jealous. Sanji Pudding, Luffy Taro, the special art of Gum Gum Giant as well. What a beautiful deck this is.
And let's not forget that Dodgers Luffy, that is not the easiest card to get hold of. That is a bit of a flex having it there in your deck. Back over to the Nami, and it looks like we are... Oh, look. I think you might have called this perfectly, Ruben, because we are finally playing a card. And what is it? It is that Charlotte Pudding, which, again, both players, both sides here, fancy decks, because that is, of course, the winner version of Charlotte Pudding from those store-level events. And just as a quick reminder, Nami's leader skill, Don X1, when your opponent attacks, you can trash a card from your hand to get a 2K bump for the turn, to essentially turning your leader into a 7K leader the first time your opponent attacks. And it is a skill which activates for the turn, not for the battle. So a lot of the time you're playing with a 7K leader here. That's pretty impressive.
Oh, he used the 1K, but his leader is a 5K, so small mistake from the green-purple Luffy side. Counter with 1K counter, but yeah, his leader is not yet a 6K. So this Nami search, which was actually a very good pickup from his after the pudding, sadly gone for nothing.
A little bit sad that is gone. It's not coming back. Not much we can do about it now. Here we do see that Luffy swing coming in.
Yep. 5 to leader, using his leader ability.
You've got to think using the leader ability here. Trash a card from your hand, make yourself a 7K leader. That sounds good to me. Just trying to decide what to trash.
And the good thing is you can trash whatever you want, even the cards that you don't need. Or yeah, here we go.
That's so good.
Yamato. That is not something that you see every day in this kind of deck, but he does have a lot of targets for it. Well, a lot is maybe a bit exaggerated, but
there are targets.
There are targets, at least, yes.
Well, we did see a second Zorojuro coming around, and again, it is the special rare version of it. We are swinging with one of those Zorojuro with just one Don on there, but this is how you kind of get super annoying here, because Zoro's already a 6K. Normally you're 1K above your average leader. Now you're 1K below the leader, so you need to swing with Zorojuro with a Don on just to have a chance of getting through. and it does look like Wim is going to be taking that Don. Nami goes down to 3 life remaining, and then we are back.
Yes. And one of the targets for that Yamato, and which is possible this turn if he wants to, is Odin from the starter deck, which is really good. However, I do think that he wants it done on his leader as well, just to make sure that he can use the leader ability.
Might be right. Here we see a Don coming on to put in. Doesn't go anywhere. Nami just, turns it away straight away, but you're still making your opponent use cards from their hand. We now see...
No counters.
No, we see a 9k swing from Nami there. And then we do play that Kozuki Hiyori coming down here. 2-cost Hiyori.
And a leader effect as well, drawing a card because the life was taken. And yeah, playing with no counters in hand, only the events, that's a little bit painful for Frederik's side.
Not ideal. Sometimes those events, they're too big. It's too much a resource to, get rid of a little swing, but you don't always have a choice. So now we do see the Zorajura. There's a decision being made. Are we going to swing with it? We're going to swing with Luffy into put in here. And Wim just happy to give that up. It's not such a big deal. Also, a quick reminder, when the Hiyori came down a minute ago, you basically pick up one of your life and then you replace it. But of course, that means that Nami's leader skill activates to draw a card, and you're essentially stacking your life. So Hiyori, phenomenal card in this Nami deck. We see the swing there with Zorajuro as a 7k.
Very good to 7, of course, because leader ability alone is not enough. He's definitely asking 2 cards, but Wim, we do know what Wim put into his deck, and that was the Okiku Nojo. And Wim Vervenne, a Belgian player, two extra cost on that Luffy.
Yeah, Luffy comes in, 2 extra costs there, goes up to an 8 cost. Probably not that relevant, but it's like we talked about before, getting into those good habits, increasing cost, even when it's not necessarily something which is going to really come up big, just to make sure that you do. So now we go back over to Wim, back over to the Nami player here. We have got, you saw that we talked about the Wano Searcher earlier. We do have the Kozuki Hiyori and the Kikanojo there, so we got a bit of a Wano package coming in for Nami. We've managed to get to 2 life each here. Both dual color leaders, both started on 4, both down to 2. So now Nami, a little bit of a thing. That is a beefy hand, to the point where you're not going to get the leader skill, because leader skill only activates you got 7 or fewer cards in hand, and there's definitely more than 7 there for Wim.
Yes, and no counters for Frederik in his hands. Only, well, he has a lot of counter in a way. Like he can counter 8, 11, 14k at least, which is a lot. But
It's not efficient counter. With if you want to be using 1k when you need 1k, 2k when you need 2k, and then these events that give you 3 or 4k, they want to be coming out when you need 3 or 4k. Dropping one of them when you need 1k is terrible, and that is how you end up losing games. We see a swing from the Kikanojo there. That is a 6k swing, goes into the Zorajuro, goes away. Apparently there's Wano all over the board in this particular matchup.
I think Wim is very surprised that that 6k swing got through, and maybe he has a read right now, putting the green-purple Luffy without counter. And this is just what Pudding does. Pudding can make the perfect hand to these awkward situations. However, this hand could have been a lot better if we still got, of course, the 1k Nami that searched for, let's say, a Sanji Pudding or something. That was a little bit unfortunate. However, Frederik needs to not think about it, just play his game, play to his outs, and try to win his game against the blue-yellow Nami. But yeah, blue-yellow Nami now with 8 cost kit, trashing alive as well. And He has more than 7 cards, I think, so no leader effect, but he does have the end of turn effect from Kit. Draw 1, trash 1, so filters out the Odin.
Absolutely. Now he doesn't like we're going back over here. And Frederik is going to be back on. Again, there's lack of counter in the hand. Lack of small counter has been a little bit of an issue so far. But the good news is, you know, you're playing probably the best deck. Certainly, you know, once you get rid of blue-purple, which is out of the tournament, definitely presumptively the best deck in the format. So you're going to have these options as we go through. Although, weirdly, both players choosing a Neldon here. I mean, they're called on, but neither player's playing anything close to a Nel. It's weird seeing both the players going for full Neldon. We can worry about that a little bit later. For now, we do have the Luffy Tarot, which is going to be hitting the board. We see the Don -1 skill being activated here. I think we do anyway.
Well, actually, I'm very glad that we are not watching an L mirror match. Because,
those things can go quite long when you get down to it. Seems like we've got a 6k Luffy swing coming in.
Using our leader effect, putting ourselves to a 7k leader.
Then countering out of it with that Charlotte Pudding. That's an annoying thing about playing against Nami. You need to swing, but you know the first time you swing, you're then going to be facing down a 7k leader, but you can't not swing for fear of that happening, so you just kind of have to swing knowing that it's going to get so much worse when you do. It is not an ideal situation. You just have little choice. Now we go back over to the Nami. Only 1 life remaining for Frederik here. It's been a bit of a whittling down kind of game here, is a phrase I like to use. We've not seen big characters and big swings. It's been lots of back and forth and the odd life taken here or there. But of course, Nami, you called it yourself at the beginning of the game, Ruben. Not a deck that's looking to play a big wide board for the characters and go really aggressive in that way. Going to rely a lot on the leader. Although this kid is a pretty good attacker.
Yes, and this 10k, really annoying because, yeah, we don't have efficient counters. Okay, now we have a 1k, 2k, and 2 giants and a 0 cost event. That is what we have to work with. These beautiful PRB02 giants in hand. But is it enough to keep you alive? I can imagine that you are alive because the blue-yellow Nami can't swing enough. I am surprised that we started with a 10k swing. Most of the time if I'm playing against the green-purple Luffy with not a lot of cards in hand, I tend to swing low because yeah, they need those cards for giants. They sometimes just only have giants and events in hand, and that makes it just very awkward. Imagine we started with 6-6. Then he needs to either giant or 0 cost event a 6k swing, or he is just dead to a big swing from Kit. So and this red rock really good onto the Luffy, and
you see another Kazuki Hyori coming down here, cycling that life. You don't gain 1, you don't lose 1, but you do cycle. And yeah, we got Luffy down to 0 life. Next turn, we could be seeing potentially Wim going for the game. We got 2 life left for Wim here. There is the Luffy Taro and the Luffy leader, but the Nami without a lot of Don isn't going to be doing too much here. So now it is over to Frederik to try and stabilize, get a bit closer to winning. We still haven't seen Sanji and Put in this game.
Yep. And he just needs to go for it. That's his last turn. He will try to go with the swings from the Rush Luffy, the Luffy Taro, and his leader. And in some worlds, the blue-yellow Nami doesn't have any counter in hand. Although it's a 7k leader, filtered 2 turns in a row with 8 cost kit, and decided to play a 2k counter on the board to put something in life. But never say never.
Yeah, that's not a good sign. When your opponent is willing to put a 2k counter on the board when they could have had it in hand, that's not normally a good sign for your opponent letting your attacks through at key moments.
I'm trying to be optimistic for the green-purple.
I appreciate your optimism, Ruben.
Sometimes you just have to play to your outs, and yeah, it's literally the only thing that he can do. He can't win from this spot. He can't prolong the game a lot longer. It's it's your only out to potentially win this, so why not?
Oh no, 100%, absolutely right. So now we're going to see a 6k leader swing coming in. It is enough for now. Obviously, when the leader becomes 7k, that's chooses to take the life. Oh, and it is actually coming down with the Kikunojo there, and that is going to be coming down onto the board using that trigger. And it is worth noting on KO, if your opponent's life is 3 or less, put the top card of your deck on top of your life.
He put
he puts
the Okikunojo last turn in life with his Hiyori. So I do wonder, was it worth it to put the Okikunojo in life? Because you are losing a 2k in hand because of that. However, he probably calculated that he is not dead to all the swings from Luffy.
Yeah, you've got to think he does. When you get to top 8, you are a top-level player, and you know you. This is not a deck that's bringing out surprises. You know what they've got. You know Rush Luffy is absolutely an option coming in. You've played against this deck a million times. Here comes... No, with Discarding Cast Hand, sorry. We're now up to a 2k boost on the Nami, so that's 7k leader. We are going to be taking that final life. But then we're going to be a swing with a Luffy Taro, and that's enough counter, and Wim is going to be absolutely fine. Nami is going to win next turn, so we are going to game 2. Blue Nami has gone all the way to top 8, and is now just cracking on quite nicely. 1 game away from a top 4 finish for Blue-Yellow Nami.
Yes, 1 game away for Wim. And yeah, it was a very good game from the Blue-Yellow Nami side. He just followed the game plan as you should against Green-Purple Luffy. Swing big, put them on a big hand, pudding, and they just sometimes don't have a very good hand instead. However, the hand was not terrible after the pudding because he still had and Nami Searcher and Zorujiro Searcher, so it was not a terrible hand. However, the hand he kept was a lot better, of course. We did see like he had Sanji Pudding, more search, more counter, and so on and so on. But yeah, it's 1-0 for Blue-Yellow Nami. And now it's a little bit of a mind state game as well for Frederik. He made like a small mistake by countering a 1k while it should have been a 2k. Against the 5k swing from the Nami, and now he needs to forget it in game 1, just go to game 2 and do what your deck does best, is play aggro and go for the win with it.
Yeah, agreed entirely. And look, you were espousing the virtues of Charlotte Pudding yesterday on the stream. You were telling us it is the best card in the One Piece card game, and we just saw it come in absolutely clutch in that game, making Frederik shuffle a hand away, get a new hand of 5. That new hand of 5 was not a help, it was very much a hindrance, and that was one of the key things that led Wim to be able to go on and win this game. Not in top 4 yet. We are in best of 3. So Frederik can absolutely come back and win this. The biggest issue, though, if we do end up in a game 3, it will be Wim who has the choice as to which one they go for here. They're going to have the choice as to whether they go first or second, which is a wonderful advantage.
Yes. I think it's a small advantage. It's not huge. Like, in some matchup it is huge, but I do think that a best of 3 is very good for the game in a top cut, because imagine you go to top cut, you only have to play 1 game and you don't have to and you don't have the dice roll, so you have only 1 game with maybe 10% less chance to win the game. So therefore there is a second game coming where you get to choose, win those 10% back, and in game 3 you can still like. It's not only about the dice roll, it's also a lot about how you know your matchups, how you know it's also a lot of skill coming with it, and sometimes you just draw better as well. If it's not only about skill, sometimes you just have a better draw. That's the card game.
No, absolutely. Very well put. Well, we are here. There is the fist bump. We are off into game 2. Blue, yellow, Nami and Wim on the left. Frederik with that green, purple Luffy on the right. We are playing a card on turn 1 with Wim here, and it is that 1-cost Yamato.
Yes, Yamato having actually a lot of options to hit. It has the Hiyori, it has the Ukiko Nojo, it also plays the Oden, also playing the Otama, which we saw in game 1 as well. So definitely some options.
Absolutely. There's a bunch of Wano cards in there, and that is what Yamato is doing. Searching for them as we go over to Frederik here. He, of course, gets 2 Don on his first turn as a player going second. Does he have any fancy tricks he can pull off with them? Well, can start off with a Nami, and both players playing a search on turn 1. Are we whiffing?
No, we see 3 Sanji Pudding, which is, well, you are searching for a Sanji Pudding, so that's good. But that means we are putting 2 to the bottom of our deck, and that's something that you are not happy about. Oh, this is... well, you are happy to see 1 Sanji Pudding, but you are not happy to see putting 2 to the bottom of your deck.
But it is worth noting that we know Pudding is a key component of Wim's deck. That is a shuffle and then draw 5. So actually, there is an argument here that the first Charlotte Pudding, making Frederik shuffle his deck, that is going to then randomize those Sanji and Pudding. So unlike in a lot of matchups, they probably won't stay at the bottom of the deck for the rest of the game. So silver lining.
Yeah, it's you know the threat of Pudding, and you don't want to take the hit. But 8K life, it's asking so many cards from you, so that's why he is taking the 8K and just hopes, please don't Pudding me the upcoming turn.
Yeah, like I say, silver lining, you will get those Sanji and Pudding then randomized back into your deck, not stuck at the bottom. But that is a large hand of cards. Going down to a random 5 from that is not what you're looking for. So we swing for 8 here, get rid of a life. And then Frederik is just sitting there, like you say, hoping that Charlotte Pudding, Sanji, Charlotte Pudding, there we go. Just Pudding, no Sanji. Got it. Hoping that one does not come down because, I mean, it did not go well for Frederik back in game 1.
Absolutely. Pudding is a very big threat. Also, something to notice, although Frederik did have the dice roll right now, he decided to go second again. So in game 1, he went second as well, and now he's going second as well. So he just thinks that is the better way for him in general.
See what he's thinking. We do have... You got the 7K Nami there, which is a little bit of a problem. We're going to be seeing that for a lot of this game as we go. We play the Nami coming down. That is going to search. It is going to go and get that Uso Hachi, which, if nothing else, is going to be a fun little counter option. And then it looks like we are back over to Nami. Already removed 1 life. Going to be looking to do that again. Or maybe it's Pudding time. Oh, it's Pudding time. Shocking. Who could possibly have seen that coming, Ruben?
I think Frederik is not that sad about it because he saw the 2 Puddings going to the bottom of his deck. However, he did have a setup for next turn with Pudding and I think Zorojuro in hand. It's not surprising, of course, that he has the Pudding in hand. It's the card that he is mainly mulliganing for, and he is playing it 4 times. So the chance for having it and the leader drawing some extra cards because of the leader ability, the chance is quite high.
And especially in a matchup where, we've seen this, you're not really looking to do too much on the first couple of turns. So that means that, Pudding really does become like the only card you're looking for to some degree. But you can mulligan a little bit more aggressively for it than you might in some other matchups.
I was like, this is a horrible hand, but we did see a Sanji Pudding now, so that's something. But the hand is, I have to say, it's horrible. Except for the Sanji Pudding, which is very, very good. Don't be mistaken. But however, the rest of his hand is definitely not that good.
That's not ideal. We are then using that Luffy leader skill, getting that extra 1k. We are then increasing the cost of the Sanji Pudding using that Merigo stage. We are then going to swing with the Luffy leader. 6k swing, of course, because of the power buff.
Small 6k swing. leader ability, or do you take... Well, I guess a 2k is also possible, but you can use the leader ability because you have it done. 4 done open, but...
always a fan of the leader ability.
This hand, it's giving me the chills, and not in a good way.
You are not impressed with Frederik's hand. That is the impression I'm getting from you here,
Yeah.
Ruben. I'm not loving Frederik's hand.
No, definitely not. It's definitely not good.
So it does look like we are using that leader ability here. We're going to trash a card from hand, and that is going to give a 2k bump, but it's not for the battle, it's for the turn. Zoro is going to come down and rest down the Yamato, meaning that we do then get Nami being able to take out the Yamato. Yeah, I mean, Yamato, you can whack Don on there and it becomes a decent attacker. It can absolutely work. It's not the biggest loss ever. You managed to drop the pudding at the right time. You are going aggressive with your leader. It worked in game 1, and it kind of seems to be working here in game 2. I'll be honest with you.
So far, it's going really well for the Nami. However, there is board presence for the green-purple Luffy. It's... Looks like we are... Yep. That was a very fast stick. He needs a better hand, I guess. Ross, more counter.
Oh. And look, sometimes that's enough. Like, you know, you don't really want to give up life all the time, but getting card advantage from giving up life is a real thing, which is pretty important. So now we see the Kozuki Hyori coming down. This lets you cycle your life. You don't gain, you don't lose, but you do get to choose which card is at the top of your life. And if you've got 7 or fewer cards in hand, you also get to draw a card with Nami. And then we do see a second Kozuki Hyori coming right on the back of that.
Okay. And Frederik needs to draw something good here, otherwise we might be in trouble.
We're gonna swing with a Zoro.
Did we draw?
I don't know is the honest answer.
I think we did draw the special art Luffy.
Okay. I'm gonna trust you on that one.
So we did use the Usuhachi for the counter. Yes, so starting with a 5k, putting our leader instantly to 7, so but playing with only 4 cards in hand, only 2 lives left, not a huge board from the green-purple side, so...
Now we see Luffy swinging in, taking out the Charlotte Puddin', who, to be fair, has already done her job really rather nicely. 2 games in a row. We do see the Merigo increasing the cost of Luffy. Probably not that relevant, honestly. Nice to be in the habit of it.
I guess you are... Well, you know the deck list, so I don't think it matters. No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter at all. But yeah, I guess again creating a natural good habit to play against. Maybe some weird blue-yellow Namis playing Gravity Blade, and if you're getting Gravity Blade on your Luffy and Sanji Pudding in one turn, well, it's yeah.
That's not a good recipe.
So again, no counter cards in hand from Frederik, so even a 6k swing is very awkward. You either have to Asura or Gum Gum Giant that attack.
Or let it through, but none of them is honestly the best situation here. The good news is that Wim is really just rolling with the leader for now. Those Kozuki Hyori are not really representing much of an offensive threat to you. They did their job very nicely, but they're not doing too much anymore. Does look like we got a couple of Don coming down onto the Nami here.
I guess if you swing 7s, you're happy to use one of your counter events. Then it's like using a counter event on a 6k swing. You're a bit sad because yeah, that could have been a 2k or a 1k, a lot easier. But if they swing 7 and you can do Gum Gum Giant, filter your cards, try to find some cards that are actually playable, I guess you're quite happy with it. So we will see a counter event here.
Yeah, that's not too bad. You do feel, you're getting a lot better value out of that.
Again, bad draws again. Marigo and Bagua.
Ooh, I mean, Merigo, definitely. It's about the worst card you can draw here. It's not really giving you
And
much.
another Bagua? Ooh. Well, to stay positive again, the more bad cards you draw, the more good cards are coming. So,
And you can still use them, when your opponent's swinging into you. So, we got that. Do have that starter deck Odin as well, although, we did. The Demon Blade is resting it down for the minute. Nami is taking out Kozuki Hyori, or one of the two. We have an option for trying to take out that Kozuki Odin.
Yep, he's definitely going to try that. That Odin is a big threat for the green-purple, especially if you don't have a lot of... you do have a lot of counter events, but if he's starting to play and leave like 5 Dawn open, you're not winning from this point. So if you can keep the board, building the board with a Sanji Pudding, the Rush Luffy, the Green Zoro, hopefully you draw some extras to play next to it, then you are slowly but steady taking over the game. Because Nami is not the deck that will develop 2 big bodies in 1 turn as blue-purple Luffy can do it, for example.
Absolutely. Now, the reason that the Kozuki Odin is such a big threat is that Activate Main lets you rest 3 Dawn, return a character other than this to your hand, and then set it to active. So what you would be able to do is, swing for 8k or maybe more if you whack some Dawn on there, then return the Kozuki Hyori to hand, which would give you a 2k counter in hand, and then swing again. And of course, any Dawn you put on Odin would be there, adding power for both of those swings. So the Odin does seem like a character that, if you can keep it around by any stretch, you really want to. Because, whack 2 Dawn on there, get 2 10k swings, and also, at the same time, bounce that Hyori back to your hand, either to use the on-play skill again, which we know Wim has been loving, they've done it a bunch, or just to have it sitting in your hand as a 2k counter. Either way, that's going to give you a lot of an advantage there.
Yep, and he is saving his Odin against his 10k swing from Sanji Pudding.
Don't blame him. I think Odin's great. I want to keep Odin on the board.
Yeah, and this hand... you can cycle the Marigo if you want to, however, those 2 Dawn represent just 1 Bagua in hand. So, we can't clear the Odin this turn. We can try another 10 with Luffy, but if that doesn't go through, we are tapped out. We can't defend ourselves against Odin that can swing twice. And with 2 Baguas in hand, I'm not the biggest fan, I have to say, so...
The thing is, with two Odin swings and your leader swing, if you get those 3 swings through, you're winning the game next turn. And then we see Nami moving on to top 4, almost impossibly, which would be awesome. But certainly, Wim seems to have this matchup down. And to be fair, if you're playing in this metagame, you probably have to have, if you're going to be making it this deep into the tournament, you've got to have your green-purple Luffy matchup down. You're not making a deep tournament run if you're losing to every green-purple Luffy, unless you've just had the luckiest run ever. Now we do see the counter with Zeus, and are we done? Are we passing back to Wim? It looks like we are. There's 2 Dawn open, so like you say, we're representing 1 Thunder Bagua, but that's it.
Yes. Oh, and he showed Marigo. Hopefully, Wim didn't see it.
If you see your opponent's got 3 cards in hand and one of them's a Marigo, you are feeling nice.
Yes, so. That was by accident.
Okay.
Maybe Wim thinks now this is the next level mind game. He has a giant to throw away that Marigo into Asura or another giant and so on. So don't be mistaken. Wim is calculating right now on how to go for it. Also, he's at 4 life and he has only 2 cards in that. Otherwise, I was like, he doesn't need to go for it. If he clears the Luffy and the Sanji Pudding, you are winning this game as well.
Right now, we're going to do a 6k swing with the leader. And the Thunderbagger does, it looks like. Was that the play of that one? Yeah.
Oh,
But
do
now,
we ever put... We do know the merry-go from Wim's side. I guess you don't. You don't need to calculate like that because normally you wouldn't know. Nah, it's not possible. I was like, do you ever put 6 Dawn on Hiyori and
I
go
was
8-8
literally
for
thinking the
and go
exact
8?
same thing. Well, we're getting 2 Dawn onto the Odin for the time being. We're going to have a 10k swing. And yeah, we're not winning the game this turn. Wim has decided this is not the turn we're doing it. I'm going to play keep away. I can get 2 swings of my Odin. I can take out the 2 biggest threats, that is the Sanji Pudding and the Luffy. Firstly, I've taken out the Sanji Pudding skill, which is great. Secondly, I've taken out the 2 biggest defensive threats, which of course makes it less likely that my Kazuki Odin is going down. I played a 6k Marco blocker for good measure. So that can now sit there established on the board and frustrate my opponent. And I've got my leader swing as well. I don't need to win the game this turn. I can take a slower route to victory.
Well, we can make this the biggest green cost 4 cost Zoro ever.
Oh, okay. If you're Wim right now, you just didn't go for game. If you see your opponent dropping 2 Merry-Go, are you starting to feel a little bit regretful? Like, wait, I could have swung for game.
Nah. One of
Like,
Merry-Go's came from the top as well, so I guess... and also 2 life to go. Like, imagine that was 2 times 2k counter or something. So I guess Wim is very chill at this moment, and he just knows that he's in a very, very good spot.
Yeah, he is in a fantastic spot. And to be fair, when you're in that good a spot, you can just kind of chill. You know, you haven't you're on the same life you started with. And you've got the better setup. And your opponent is, seemingly on the ropes. They've not had enough counter for the entire matchup so far. So you're probably at this stage. And, if there is a game 3, you've still got your choice of first or second. You've won game 1. If you lose game 2, it's going to come close. You've got to be feeling pretty confident at this stage. How many Dawn are open for Frederik? Is it just 2?
Yes, and there's the Sanji Pudding, so that's at least a target for your 0 cost event. So you have 0 cost event and Thunder Bagua, 3k and the 4k basically in hand. But yeah, Odin can swing twice.
Or 12k Odin swing coming down here. And that is going to go through. So then the question is, are we going to swing again with the Odin? You can pay the... Oh, you would have to jump... Oh, okay, here we go. So I was going to say, you have to bounce a character back, and you don't really want to bounce back the Marco, but now we play Kozuki Hiyori. Now we can bounce it back with the Odin. We can swing again. We got Thundam Bagua, which is going to be okay. And we have that 1 cost event. So for the time being, as you mentioned, we haven't won the game. But with no life there, with Odin and Marco and the leader sitting opposite you, you've got 4 characters out, but 2 of them are Nami, which ain't doing very much, I'm afraid.
Looks like good games. This means that Wim Vervenne will go to top 4 with blue, yellow, Nami. And that's very well done for him. That means that he did have a good run in Swiss and a good run today, and he's only 2 best of 3s away from becoming the Utrecht Regionals champion.
It seems like we are going to be heading that way. We got Luffy Taro with a couple of Don going to be swinging in. So Wim just gives up the Marco leader, and of course you get to draw on KO as well. That's one of those new PRB02 cards. Made a big difference to decks like this. One of Nami's new tricks, so to speak. One of the best cards in that entire set, to be fair. But right now it is saving Wim from having to give up a life. We've still got plenty of Don active for Frederik. But the real question is, what can we do? We see a big Luffy leader swing with a bunch of Don underneath it. And you can counter out of it, but... Oh, and it is into the Odin. Honestly, if you've seen your opponent's hand... I mean, is there a world in which you can just be like, massive leader swing? Oh, here we go. Massive leader swing. And I don't think
Well,
any...
there is a giant, and if there is a giant, a second giant...
Oh, there we go. There is the
blood.
fist bump. And Wim is going to take it 2 games.